everyone, welcome to another episode of rawradianthealth.com, and I'm Natasha St. Michael, and thank you so much for joining me. So today I'm going to show you guys something a little bit different. I'm going to show you how to make apple juice kefir, okay? Because, you know, I stress a lot the importance of having probiotics in the diet, especially these days when we know that chlorine in the water and antibiotics that people have taken and all sorts of stuff actually wipes out the healthy intestinal bacteria that's in our gut that maintains our body, maintains a healthy, strong immune system. It's good for digestion, everything. It's, you know, most cultures around the world all have either fermented or cultured foods in their diet, and that's known as sort of like one of the longevity secrets is to always make sure that the intestines are strong. And how they're strong is by having healthy, good bacteria, because the more good bacteria you've got in your body, the less the bad bacteria you've got, because it keeps it in balance. But if we wipe out the good stuff, then the bad stuff can sort of grow out of hand, okay? So we're always trying to keep a good balance in the body, and it's important to have fermented foods in your diet. And so I've shown you in the past how to make coconut water kefir, but I know that there's a lot of issues with using coconut water that comes from those young Thai coconuts from Thailand, okay? That, you know, there's a lot of speculation that they've been dipped in some sort of preservative. Not sure what, okay, but something is preserving them, because it takes about a month or two just for them to get from Thailand to North America or to the shop that you're buying it from. So obviously it's been preserved in something, okay? And I know a lot of people have written me, you know, just stressing that they'd like to do the coconut water kefir, but they're a little bit suspect about, you know, the toxins that might be in the coconuts, and the coconuts are not organic. So this is a way of doing a kefir, doing a fermented beverage that is, you can use anything like apples, you can use even like grapes, you can use pears, you probably can also use melons, any kind of fruit that has a lot of sugar in it, okay? I wouldn't use citrus fruit like oranges or grapefruit or lemon or any of that, but really any kind of juicy fruit that's got a lot of sugar, because pretty much the kefir grains that we use to ferment the liquid, it lives off of the sugar, and it eats up the sugar in the water or in the juice and ferments it at the same time. So that's how you know if something is fully fermented, is that it's no longer sweet, okay? So all the sugar's been eaten up, and the kefir grains make probiotics, okay, and get like millions and millions of different strains, and it's fabulous, okay? So pretty much I'm going to show you how to do it. It's super simple, but it's an idea, especially also for those of you too that can't find coconuts in your area. I know that happens a lot as well, that this is a way of using something that might be local, and it might be even cheaper. So check it out. Okay, so all you're going to need are some apples. You're going to need some kefir grains, and if you don't have kefir grains, you can always just use a probiotic capsule, and you just empty the capsule into the juice, okay? And these are the kefir grains. And then you're going to need a glass jar, and to strain it later on when it's fermented, you're going to need a nut milk bag. Okay, so I've just cut up the apples. I always take out the inner core of the apple just because it's known to have a toxin in it and in the seeds. So I always just cut that out, and now we're going to juice them. Okay, so we're first going to just put the kefir grains into the jar. And then we're going to pour in the apple juice. And then we're going to just seal it really tightly with the lid, and that's it. So there you've got, and you can just shake it around, and you're going to store this in a dark, warm place, okay? So it doesn't have to be a hot place, but just in your kitchen, like maybe in a cabinet somewhere where it's nice and warm. So it can take anywhere from 1 to 3 days to ferment. It depends really where you're storing it and what the environment's like. Like here up in Canada, it's cold and damp these days, so it took like 3 days for it to ferment, whereas if I was somewhere like tropical and humid, it would probably only take 1 day. All you have to do is, you can test it out, take a little sip of it, and if it's still really sweet, then you know that it still needs to ferment, okay? And it's good too, here and there, to take the jar and to just swirl it around, okay? Because it gets, it just moves the kefir grains around and makes sure that the whole liquid, everything in the jar is getting fermented, okay? And so now I'm going to show you what it looks like after it's been fermented. It looks like apple juice pretty much, right? But it's really, it's a strong smell to it. It's kind of sour. It's not as sour as, let's say, vinegar. We don't want it to get to that point, but we want it to really be quite sour and tart tasting. So I don't drink like a whole cup of it. I just have maybe like a fourth or a third of a cup, okay? And so and I drink it down. And it's actually quite nice. It's not that bad. What's nice about it is it's not as sweet as apple juice, but it's not as sour as vinegar. It's kind of like the in-between. And I just got my own homemade hit of probiotics. So this is super easy. And the one thing I just do want to suggest is that just everyone make sure if they do have kefir grains to always, when you're finished fermenting it, to always strain the grains out of the liquid so you can do another batch, right? And never to use metal. So what I've been using is just a nut milk bag to just strain out my kefir grains, separate it, and then I can refrigerate the fermented liquid, okay? And I can have it for a few days. I mean, it could last in the fridge for weeks, okay? But you don't want to put the kefir grains in the refrigerator. And also too, if you want to buy kefir grains, the best source, my favorite source, is kefirlady.com, and it's super cheap. And this is not a starter. It's not like you buy one and you can only use it a few times and that's it. This is something that you can use for the rest of your life, and they keep growing and multiplying. So you can actually give them away to your friends, your family. You can eat them, you can do whatever you want with them, but it's a once in a lifetime investment. And I mean, it's, I don't know, like $10, $15, something like that. And I mean, you ferment all your foods with them. So they're super great, great investment, kefirlady.com. All right, so that's my little tip for the day. And it's the weekend, so I'm wishing you guys a fabulous weekend. Someone asked as well when the next juice fast is going to be. It's going to be May 3rd, 10-day juice fast, May 3rd. So go to my website and sign up at www.rawradianthealth.com, and I will see you on Monday. Bye!